Okay, so we've gone live. Okay, so what am I going to do tonight? Well, tonight I'm going to do chapter 10 and maybe chapter 11 of the Oarcle SQL guide. I did try doing chapter 10 last night, but it just didn't flow right. So, chapter 10 is all about constraints. So, I've actually downloaded the actual chapter here instead of having it on my laptop. So, at least you guys can see what it's about. So, what are constraints? Constraints enforce rules at a table level. Constraints prevent the deletion of a table if there are dependencies. The following constraints type are valid: not null, unique, primary key, foreign key, and check. So not null, I'll give you an example of a not null. So basically there's an example. So job ID varchar not null, that's a constraint. Well, basically that means that the column cannot be null values in it. So you can't enter in a null value. You have to enter in something. So okay, so see the way you create the table here, and you have not null. It says here there's a system name and a username. So that must, oh yeah, that's for the system. That's for when you create the actual table for the system, and that's actually when you yourself define that it's not null. That's what I get from that anyway. Then you have a unique constant. So, sorry, not constant, constraint. So it's basically a unique, like an email would be unique. Everybody, you only have one real email. So, and you can see the syntax for it is constraint, name of constraint, unique, and the next one is primary key, and you can see it's the same idea. Constraint, department, the name of it, then primary key, and it's the same for foreign key. So then what a check is, from what I understand about check, is defines a condition that okay, that's not one. Here we go. That's the foreign key. Yeah, the check constraint. Define the condition that each row must satisfy. Okay, so that's what I want. So basically this is saying that the row M salary min, it has to be greater than 0. So you have to check that it's greater than 0, and if it's not greater than 0, then it's going to give you an error. This is basically error checking. So you can also add a constraint to a table. So that's using the alter table command. So alter table, add constraint, foreign key, okay, and let's see, add a foreign key constraint to employee table to indicate that a manager must already exist as a valid employee in the employee table. So let's see if we can read what's going on here. So we're altering the table, then we're adding the constraint, which is a foreign key. So that's the foreign key is a manager ID, references, employees, employee ID. Okay. So it's making a reference to the employees table, and the reference is an employee ID. So a foreign key to constrain the manager to constrain a foreign key constraint to an employees table, which basically means that a manager must already exist as a valid employee. So a valid employee would have an employee ID. And then dropping is just the same as before. You alt table drop the constraint. Simple as that. Disabling. Okay, so disabling constraint, disable constraint. Okay, so what does cascade do? Apply cascade option to disable dependent integrity constraints. So you can disable a constraint without dropping or recreating it by using the alt table command. Alt table. Okay. I say cascade is kind of like probably to disable any dependencies or anything like that. That's what I kind of understand. Activate an integrity constraint currently disabled in the table definition by using the enable clause. So alt table enable constraint. Okay, so if you want to enable it, you just type in enable the constraint. So that's disable, enable. Cascading constraints. Cascading constraints clause is used with the drop column clause. The cascading constraint clause drops all referential integrity constraints that refer to the primary and unique keys. Okay, so let's see. So what we're doing here is we're creating a table. We have a primary key. So primary key is number. Foreign key is number. Column number. Okay. Constraint. F constraint. Foreign key. Okay. Foreign key. And we're doing a check here, making sure the primary key is greater than 0 and the call is greater than 0, and then we're doing another check here. It's giving us an error. Okay, so that's parent key. Example: alter table test 1, drop primary key call cascade constraints. I should really get down to the questions. So I'm just reading over this. So okay, alter table test 1.